Roy C. Baker brought something to football that we may all have taken for granted.
Depending on when the listeners came of age in terms of their football fandom, uh, if they're some kind of youngin, they might only remember the louvered down markers, where the guy
the dial downs.
First they were chains, and then they created down markers or down boxes, which initially were just boxes, on a stick with a 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the 4 sides of the box. And so, but none of those were entirely satisfactory, because, depending on which direction you had the down marker pointing, then if they were in a different position in the stadium or on the field, they saw a different number. So there was always some confusion there. And this is a lot of times in the days before there were really effective scoreboards that would tell you the down. So there's this guy, Roy C. Baker, who was a 1932 South Dakota grad. He was an ROTC there. He was a cheerleader. But, for whatever reason, in the late 30s, he, became dissatisfied with the way that the down boxes worked in football, and football had tried a lot of different solutions. There were different, now we're using chips, I guess, but they tried different things like surveying kind of tools to line it up properly, and some kind of crazy things to try to get accuracy. But his solution was much more focused on the fans and the players on the field than just the visibility of the down on the down markers. So he's the guy who came up with the flip style down marker. And he kind of prototyped it just using sheets of paper. And if you think about it, and I wrote about it, I kind of went through the sequence in the written article, but it's like, okay, so the 1 on one side of the sheet has to be matched with a 2 on the other side, and then a 2 matched with 3, and a 3 matched with 4, and then a 4 matched with a 1, in order for the numbers to correspond. So both sides are displaying either a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And so he figured that out, and it's like so obvious to anybody who looks at it, like it's like, why didn't anybody think of that years before?
And the number's got to be upside down too, the number on the other side, because you're flipping it over.